Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name's Gary. Welcome to the Sunday Club. I hope you've all had a good week. I hope you have all had a good weekend. So, it's the first live stream since England have qualified for the World Cup. And no, I don't know if you've seen the content. I've been enjoying making content. There's been quite a few videos I've put out there, but look, we're there. We are there. We always sort of knew we were going to be there, wouldn't we? But the fact that we are there now with 2 games to go means we can relax, we can enjoy these games, and maybe experiment a little bit, or arguably actually have a look in terms of a team that may start or may not. The debate now is who's going to the World Cup and what that starting 11 is going to be. People are already predicting that he's very much not going to be picking on names, is he? He's not just picking the best 11 individually talented players that he can fit on a pitch. He's picking the best team, and you know what? Let's all just realise now where England have been over the years, where it's shoehorning players in positions where they don't fit, trying to play the best players. I think good luck to him, because he's trying something that I don't think any manager, as an England manager, has ever tried to do. I think it's always been about trying to get all the best players in that starting lineup, and sometimes it doesn't work, doesn't make the best team. Saw a live stream the other day, I can't remember who it was now, but saying, look at PSG. Didn't win anything with Neymar, Messi, and Mbappe up front. As soon as they've gone, Champions League winners. So it's not about individuals, is it? It's not about individuals, it's about the team. Let's see, Tuchel seems to be, he's got the ingredients right at the minute. I know we're not playing anybody, but the ingredients are right. We're playing good football. The question tonight, I've left it on the chat. You'll see it. It's pinned at the top. Can we dare to dream? England fans, can we dare to dream that it's coming home? That's tonight's topic. Maybe about as well a couple of other things about Nations Leagues and the World Cup draw as well. But let's have a look as we go on. Let me go to the chat. Robert coming straight in earlier with Maguire in next England camp. Look, I tell you what. He's got to be well worth a shout, hasn't he? He's got to be well worth a shout because he's a goal scorer. He's a goal-scoring defender. He gives us some threat from set pieces. And I think England, to be fair, without Maguire, lack that threat from set pieces. So, look, I've never understood the hate Maguire's had. I like the man. He'd be in my squad. Andrew coming in, could be 4th choice. I honestly think we are 4th favourites behind France, Spain and Argentina. I think that's fair enough. So, people start putting down what you think. Robert Beveridge, why, to be honest, room for experimentation now that the pressure is off for now. Yeah, absolutely. I agree, he could be in contention next month. Good evening, says Matt's channel. Russell, we always dream, mate. We do, mate. That's all we do, isn't it? Come on. It's just like, does anyone else get sick and tired of watching other people? And when I say other people, other content creators, or let's be honest, foreigners, in regards to anybody else, watching England fans react to us getting excited about potentially winning a World Cup. And you look at England's squad, and I don't care who you are, we have a right to be confident of the fact that we can challenge for this World Cup, but I hate it. Because all you ever see from other fans is, here England fans go again, blah, blah, blah. They always think they're going to win it. And it's like, well, no. I get what they're saying, but, look at our team. If we can't go in there as fans, optimistic that we want to and win that tournament, I don't know what football's about. So I ain't embarrassed by that. England definitely are going to be one of the favourites to lift that trophy. Watching Phil Foden play for City yesterday, he reminded of David Silva. He can play number 8 and should for England. The thing is with Foden, mate, we've been there time and time again, hasn't he? He never does it for England. Never does it for England. I didn't see him yesterday. I know he's had a good start to the season from what I hear, but I don't know. He's had his chance for me. I'm not saying he shouldn't be in the squad, but we've heard this time and time again how he's the next whatever. He's the most talented England players, got on the ball, blah, 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 blah. Put him in an England shirt and he just disappears. The top players win your games when the team isn't playing well. I don't think Phil Foden fits that mould at all. Still think Wharton should be involved. He's in the top 3 ratings every week. I think he would have been. I think it's only injuries every single squad that Tuchel's had that's kept him out. So let's see what happens. It's a shame Palmer's going to be out for the next squad in November, because then there's a big gap then till next year. I mean, we've had this great 3 months now, back-to-back England games, once a month, but that crap Christmas break, honestly, it's shocking until early next year. There's a huge break, and it is a real shame that Palmer's not going to be involved. Evening, Kurt. I'll come on to a few people in a minute. I need to thank some people because channel members have absolutely shot up this week to 8 channel members, and I want to thank all of you individually. In fact, you'll see last week I had all the channel members down like this side. I've now had to put them on the banner at the top because it's literally doubled in the past week. So, I mean, they're coming round now. So, Kurt Barlow, welcome to the squad, mate. Tom Briscoe, Brian Turner, Gate 102, Robert Beveridge, Felix, Charlie Kelly, and Josh Philp. Thank you all so much. Unbelievable. Honestly, I truly appreciate it, everybody. Wharton and Foden could be like Xavi and Iniesta. Put Bellingham as a 10 and we destroy any midfield. Look, I hear you, and I hear people get carried away, and you think, look at these players, let's shoe them all in, but it just doesn't work. I think there needs to be that balance there, and I'm not calling for Foden to start. I'm not. I mean, I hear you, Rolling Stone. Maybe this is the time, but for me, he doesn't start. Sick and tired. Try having French brother-in-laws moaning because they haven't won anything in the last week. Oh, God. Walton, Rice and Bellingham will be the best midfield at the World Cup. It'll be pretty strong, won't it? It'll be pretty strong. Whether it's the best, it's going to be right up there. It's right up there. Can we dare to dream, says Nozza? Yes, I'm with you, mate. I think we can. I think we can 100% dare to dream. I just can't believe we're having amazing players we're not considering for the squad. We have depth now. We have so much depth. So much depth. I don't know if anybody's seen the video I put out this past week where I put about the squad depth. I might see if I can find the picture actually and put it up tonight. Because when I was looking at that, it inspired me to make that video because the depth we've got in all areas of the pitch. And there's players even on that list that I put up on that video that weren't even included. It's just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Grealish should be in the squad, said JT. I mean, you got Grealish. I mean, he's got to be in with a shout, hasn't he? I think the November squad is. I mean, let's be honest. Let's take a minute here now. If he picks the same squad, like roughly for the 3rd month in a row, are we looking at our World Cup squad? Barring injuries, there's a few people, and like I said, I go back to Adam Wharton. He might want to pick Wharton, but he's just not had the chance to do so because of injuries. But if he picks that same squad again in November or very close to it, I think that's our World Cup squad right there. I honestly do. I can't see him changing anything drastically. I can't wait for England to play against a decent team. I know. I mean, there's talk of those friendlies, isn't there? Is it Japan and was it Uruguay early next year, whether they come off or not? I think they might be in the US as well. Might be a good chance, actually, for some fans to go and watch a game in the US if you're going to get priced out of the World Cup, because the ticket prices for that are going to be an absolute shambles. But yeah, the problem is, and I keep going on about this video I made, the thing I said in the video the other day is that we're literally... I've never known a manager who's going to be in post like 2 years and he's just going to be judged on one game. He's literally just going to be judged on one game. And that will be a random knockout game at the quarter-final or semi-final at the World Cup. That's what he'll be judged on. It's just mad. It's just absolutely mad. This talk, isn't there, about, does European qualification need reforming? Do we need to look at something completely different? Is it like a league system? Is it something like the Champions League where you're randomly paid different? I don't know. I sort of get the argument. I sort of don't get the argument. I think you speak to a lot of fans. They enjoy going to these places that you would never get to go to. Playing nations we would never, ever play. I mean, if you did change it round, so those Minows, if you like, have to do some sort of, I don't know, they're separate from us. We'd never play them. You'd never play them. And Europe's, even though it's a big continent, you're still stuck with more or less drawing the same teams each time, and it'll be even smaller come qualification. You just end up playing the same teams, but at the same time, they do feel a bit like pointless games, don't they? Imagine having a knockout game where you have Foden, Bellingham, Palmer to come off the bench. This is what I mean, Andrew. And that's the thing. Let's have a strong bench as well. I mean, that is absolutely right. It's not all about who you can chuck on the pitch. The friendly against Wales was a waste. I think the problem is, though, I almost think Wales, looking at the fixtures and the way it all went, Wales were almost the only team we could play at that period of time because of the way the qualification games are working. They were almost one of the only few teams that we could have picked a friendly against, who had a half-decent ranking as well. So it was an odd break. I've been watching loads of content about the World Cup, and the general feeling is the winner in France, Argentina, or England. Look, I'm no idiot. And as you know, I'll be doing a video definitely on whether we're favourites or not, or the top favourites, and I'll be dropping that probably this next week actually. But the reality is, I'm no idiot. I definitely put Spain, France, or Argentina above England. I just, I'm not going to sit here and say pedigree counts. End of the day, these teams have got pedigree of winning something in the last 50, 60 years. We haven't. It doesn't mean that I don't think we can definitely compete with them, or we haven't got better squads than them, or as good as squads. It's just, I think that counts for something, doesn't it? And look, I'm going to say, hand on heart, they're ahead of us. Doesn't mean, though, that we can't win this. Hi, Gary. Will you keep your promise of getting Tuchel's face tattooed on your arse if we... Mate. Yes, I think I'll have to. I don't know what my lass will say about it, but Bagani, do you believe it will come home after the Wales and Latvia game? I think the problem is, Bagani, we believe it's coming home, mate, even if we're beating Latvia or anybody. Ironically, now we are finally qualifying with ease. People are calling qualifying to be overhauled, and that is the thing, right? Honestly, that is the thing where. It's not that common, and you still have to top your group. I mean, look at Italy. You still have to top your group in Europe to qualify. So I don't think there's a major problem with the European qualification perspective. I think there is with the Euros qualification perspective, because since that tournament was extended as well, honestly, it's almost impossible not to qualify for the Euros. Yeah, it's a difficult one. The problem is because there's so many teams, there is no obvious solution, is there, to the qualification period in Europe. It's just really difficult. Morgan Rogers probably won't start, but I think he'll be on the plane as a squad player. No, I possibly agree. I don't think he'll start, but who's playing better than him at the minute for England? Not sure I personally want it, but a Champions League type league for the qualification would shake things up. 8 games, same as our current campaign, 4 home, 4 away, but 8 different opponents. It would shake it up. It would shake it up a little bit, and but the problem is though, within that you would have to say that you have to play a top team, wouldn't you? Seed it the same way that I'm assuming the Champions League does, where we would then likely play out of those 8 games a stronger team, so we're not just beating Minows all the time. But I don't know. It is a difficult one. I have a feeling, Gary, that Bellingham won't go. It would be insane not to take him, but I think Tuchel has got a problem with him. Right, let's put this out there now, and this is maybe a bit of shit steering. But if Bellingham wasn't picked, is it in Tuchel we trust, or do we all absolutely have an issy fit? Pop your comments. Do we all absolutely freak out if he doesn't pick him, or is it a case of let's just trust it? Let's just trust the process. Let's just trust it. I think on paper we are far better than Argentina. I wouldn't have a single player from their squad in our first 11. Big thing to say, Andrew, but I hear you. As an England fan, there's not many players I would swap out for any team, for that matter. I still think in midfield we're probably not as strong as what we think we are, but sod my arse if we win and get a tattoo of Tuchel's face of my own face. I think, yes, under Southgate, France, Spain and Argentina are ahead of us, but I think Tuchel changes things. He's a one-off game tournament manager who wins trophies. Is Tuchel the difference? Is that it? Is Tuchel the difference? Dylan, thank you. Thank you, mate. Hope you're enjoying the content. Bagani, apparently we might play Japan and Uruguay in March. Yeah, that's what I was just saying. Good games. Good games. I think already some of my last videos has attracted broad audience, should I say, and I've had a lot of AFCON fans and Asian fans coming on saying, shocked that I don't fear anybody. And the answer is I don't fear any African nations team or Asian team for that matter. It doesn't mean that I don't think they could lose a game or potentially cause an upset. I just don't fear them. It's as simple as that. But they are good teams. The only changes that are needed is to have a preliminary round for the Minows. Yeah, maybe. Hello, guys. You have a great team. I hope that we play again in the World Cup. That's Senegal, isn't it? Because I know Senegal and Ghana have a very similar flag. I'm sure it's the Green Star. So, Hussein, welcome to the chat, mate. I don't know if you're new here. Welcome. I hope we do as well. It's a good game, wasn't it? Good game. Although Senegal, I tell you what, good side. proper good side. Just text you to say Maguire would be a rate option to shore a lead or even get him on for set pieces if needed. I know, Matt. I messaged you back because it's like we're so much better with him from set pieces, aren't we? And without him, we do look a bit light without him from a set piece perspective. I'd have him above Dan Burn, put it that way, any day of the week. Tuchel thinks he can play high pressure style in 30 degrees. He is wrong about that. Well, I think it's meant to be seen what he's going to do in 30-degree heat. The problem is, right, is every team is going to have the same problem. And I don't care if you've grown up in South America, Australia, or whatever. You're a human being. No bugger can run in 30-degree heat for 90 minutes. Everyone's going to be in the same condition. I think as long as we get there early, in terms of the States early, that warm weather training, I think David Beckham's looking at giving his ground up into his facilities from into Miami. I think England need to get there early, get acclimatised, and look, our players should be as fit as anybody else. So I hear the heat problem, but everyone's got the same problem, and our lads should be able to deal with it as much as anybody else would. Bellingham will be in the squad, says Carol. I think he will. I'm stirring the pot, Carol. You know, what happens if he isn't? Are we all going to freak out? Bellingham has to go, plays well for England on average. Foden doesn't. I agree. I hope I can go to Uruguay game, says Charlie. Yeah, mate, let's go. I hope I can as well. To be honest with you, I'm probably looking at those games, those friendly games as well. Anderson and Wharton will really improve England's midfield options. Bellingham will go mad if Tuchel puts him on the bench. He will walk, no question. In Tuchel, we trust, like I already said about PSG. Teams aren't built with superstars as I've been proved wrong. Yeah, absolutely, mate. PSG is a fine example in terms of, look, they've still got individual amazing players, but it's just not all about those massive names that are going out there, and it's all about them. It needs to be the squad. I was disappointed. International break has finished as a Forest fan because of the form of Forest. They just could do with hiring a manager who's going to have more than a month, mate. Maguire is good. Our defence does play. I've got to keep up with the chat here. There's loads of chat. It's great stuff, guys. To a high line today. Him and Shaw got scanned by eyes. I mean, I think Shaw's done, but Maguire can do a job. He's just not got the legs. If Maguire drops the 11, Konza or James, Burn drops out. Yeah, Burn definitely drops out. I feel like there is a high probability we face Germany in the World Cup now that we have Tuchel. Well, the World Cup draw is going to be amazing, isn't it? I think because with them we're looking at those knockout stages and the progression route. And yeah, I am looking straight to that. I'm never going to go into a World Cup where I think I'm looking at the knockout rounds as soon as that group draw has been made, because, like I said, you win one game, you're more... I mean, I'm saying this now, but you win one game and you're more or less through to the next round. So I'm looking at those knockout games as soon as that draw is done. We will know the Bellingham situation for Rio when the November squad is announced. If he's fit and isn't selected, then I think Tuchel doesn't want it. Absolutely. I mean, I was even people saying he's got to pick him. I mean, the fallout, if he doesn't pick him in November, if he's fit. And I mean, the other thing is he is fit. I mean, I was just about to ask then, is he starting for Real Madrid this weekend? And Andrew's just come in saying he's starting tonight. He's not on form though, is he? And it is a thing like, if he ain't playing well, why should he pick him in November? If he's come back from injury, still struggling for form, you've got players there that are in form. Is he that good that he's an automatic pick? I don't think anyone's that good as an automatic pick, probably with the exception of Harry Kane and Pickford. That's it. Our defence are so balanced, and when we make a good defensive tackle, we comfortably keep possession. I understand that. I would still have Bellingham and maybe Grealish. It's more Maguire to be in squad if needed. I wouldn't absolutely put him in the 11. Would prefer him than Burn as an option, 100%. Yeah, he's got, for me, because he likes experience as well, doesn't he, Tuchel? Like, you feel like he would. I mean, he's not looked at Maguire, has he, at all? But I think maybe Maguire is done for England under Tuchel, certainly. But he's going to force his way in. What about Trent? Would he get in the squad? I think he will. I mean, I think injuries is the problem for him, but it's just... I think he will, because look, we've been so light in fullback positions in the past couple of squads, haven't we? I think Trent's in. I definitely think Trent's in. How long's Trent out injured for? Is he still out? Well, it's whether Hall can come good into it, Match Channel. Yeah, it's a difficult one. I mean, Spence is all right. Did he play Konza at fullback the other night as well? I think he did, didn't he? I think, yeah, all of a sudden we're struggling for fullbacks, aren't we? Which is really weird. I mean, Livramento, definitely. You think, so Andrew thinks Trent's not going to go. Interesting. I mean, look, let's be real, it should be based on form. I mean, if Bellingham and Trent are injured or not playing, they shouldn't go. And I'll be the first to defend Tuchel if he's picking this. And look, I'll be. There's always that thing where you think, how can we leave Bellingham or anybody of that sort of caliber, Trent, Bellingham, whoever you probably put another 4 or 5 players on that list, Saka, Kane, whatever. But every single one of those players, if any of those players are not fit or they haven't been playing well, they shouldn't go. They should not go. Tell me this regarding Bellingham. How many tournaments have Germany won with superstars like Bellingham? Time and time again, it's been proven teams win tournaments, not superstars. Kurt, honestly, mate, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Would I give Tuchel a day mud if he wins the World Cup? I mean, he can have what he wants, can't he? He can have what he wants, mate, if he wins the World Cup. For 2 caps in, I've been impressed with Spencer. I have as well, Russell, to be honest with you. I've been impressed with all the fullbacks he's brought in. Again, though, we've played nobody. I get that. I genuinely, I'm not massively worried. I know people are saying we've only played nonsense, but we've only played nonsense in the past in qualification groups, but yet we've still conceded goals. The defence is all right. And I go back to, I think defending as an art is died years ago. I don't think anyone's got an absolutely solid defence anymore, which is why I'm quite optimistic, actually, in terms of where England are at. I think we're just as strong as anybody else, for that matter. Paul Merson has doubts about Elliot Anderson playing in the number 6 role. I think he believes Wharton should play there instead of him. Look, I think the problem is, right, Wharton, if he's fit, I think everyone's just crying out. It's all I hear in my chats, on other streams and in comment section is Adam Wharton, Adam Wharton, Adam Wharton. He is literally, people are absolutely begging for him to start. And I think the frustrating thing I'm seeing, even in the last squad, people are saying, why aren't you picking Wharton? He's been injured. Tuchel has not, I think, is it 3 squads he's had now? In every single squad he's had, whether it's 3 or 4, every single squad he's had, Adam Wharton has not been available. That's the only reason why he hasn't picked him. So I think we're just, I think he just needs to pick Wharton to get this thing off his back where people are begging him to pick him. And I think he would get in this squad. I don't think Kobe Mainoo's finished for England. He needs to leave. He needs to leave Man U. I mean, they did him the dirty, mate, not selling him in the summer. I get it because he's on the bench, he's perfect backup, isn't he? But Mount's getting games now. He needs to try and force his way out in January. He needs games. Yeah, Robert, excuse me. Mainoo is good, needs to move out of United and play for another team. He does, he needs to leave. Charlie, I think Tuchel wants to build a team that no one wants to play against. That's what Tuchel said at Chelsea in his first interview at Chelsea. I mean, it's a good start, isn't it? I mean, look, we go on about, like, I mean, I did a video in terms of who we fear or who I fear, as a fan who I really wouldn't want England to face in the World Cup. But let's be real now. There's not a team anywhere thinking, I'd love to draw England. There's no one wanting to draw us at the World Cup in the group stage or the knockout rounds because we're pretty solid at the back. Not the most solid, but we're pretty solid at the back. Got a solid midfield, and attacking-wise, it's like, what do you plan for? You can plan for Harry Kane all you want, but he's going to score, isn't he? And then you've got your option of about 4 or 5 different wide players. You would not want to be facing England. Absolutely not. Tom Briscoe, I'm fully on the team. I am now, mate. I said to chat, I pinned everything, didn't I, on that Serbia away game? Because I felt like that was either going to be an easy 12 months for Tuchel or a difficult 12 months. As soon as we won 5-0 in Serbia, I went, right, that's it. I'm fully behind it. Whatever he does, I'm behind him. If he drops Tuchel, Kane, Pickford and Rice, no. If he drops somebody, a big player, if he leaves someone at home, because I think he's going to have to. I think that's the thing. With that stack now, some big player has to stay behind. They're going to have to. But whoever he drops, I'm just behind him. In Tuchel we trust. And I always go back to, and this is something as fans, we always need to take a breather and think, he managers and obviously these team members, there's a huge side to this that we don't see. We don't see how players are in changing rooms. We don't see how they are around the camps. We don't know how their entourage, their parents, agents, whatever. There's a whole host of different dynamics and mechanisms that are going off in the background that we're never privy to, and we never, we can't be. We're not involved in the camps, or we're not involved in that setup. So I think we've just got to get to a point where we trust decisions that are made by managers. The problem is he's out for a while now, isn't he, Charlie? He started well again, but then he's had a long period now, Palmer, where he's not been able to sort of get back into his flow. He's so good, but it just feels like Palmer. He's just like 2 or 3 years keep passing by and he never seems to get an opportunity, does he? Still can't believe the hate Pickford get him, mate. It's outrageous. Honestly, I just think you're an absolute idiot. If every single time, and how many times I hear it as well, any time you hear any fan saying, "Oh, it should be Pope now in goal," or so and so, you just think, just shut up. They have not got. Honestly, it's so boring. Like there's some things that just aren't worth arguing about because it is just so wrong. It's like a flat earther, or arguing about evolution. I just give up. Honestly, as soon as but it's so common. As soon as fans are like, "Oh, it should be so and so Henderson in net now," or you're just like, "Oh, forget it." I just can't be asked to argue with him because you can't argue with idiots. Selfishly, I feel like Bayern might dominate the Champions League. I don't want that to happen in case Kane gets injured towards the end of June. Yeah, that's the thing. Don't want him having a long run, do we? We are the most informed team in Europe. We only conceded one competitive goal in 1 year, which was against Finland. We are the only team in Europe who haven't lost a competitive game in a year. Haven't played anyone really, though, have we? This England team has improved a lot since Tuchel came in. I mean, the last 4 games have been great. The 2, 3, or was it 4 games? The 3 games before that weren't so good. But certainly the last 4 games, the last 2 camps, absolutely fine. But I wouldn't say he didn't start that well. Watch Kane last night. His passing is on another level. His assist, he's so good. So good with the ball. Hart and James better than Pickford. Well, honestly, it's embarrassing. We've only lost something like 7 qualification games in the last... I know, I read that. Was it Serbia? Yeah, it was when we were going to Serbia away, and I was reading up, and it's like England's qualification record is just outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. I'll tell you one thing that occurred to me. Whoever wins the World Cup will have to win a penalty shootout. No way anyone is winning 5 knockouts. I mean, we're good at that now, aren't we? We won one in the Euros. Kane was fantastic this weekend. People are saying he's on the form of his life. The problem is if you remember the last Euros, he was knackered by the time the summer come around. Well, everyone was. Everyone was absolutely buggered. That's what we don't want. But Tuchel did say in one of his first England interviews he's going to have an intensity that the players need to adapt to. If we win the World Cup, that's a proper manager with tournament experience. Fair comment, Kerbella, although it isn't about 7 games to get to the final. Serbia was the turning point. It's like we were finally released from the shackle. It was. I mean, it felt like the first game, wasn't it? That he had the players together and the players knew they had to actually try and put some effort in. And I think they just switched it on. They just switched it on. And I think from then, I feel like the players have got behind him a little bit. I mean, Tuchel's not picking any friends, is he? He's making odd comments in press conferences. Like when he left Bellingham out, it'd have just been easier for him to say, I'm just giving him rest, but instead he's like, no, he wanted to come, but I decided not to pick him. Obviously he picked a fight with the fans, saying that the atmosphere was crap. He was completely right, by the way, but he's not here to make any mates. And you look at the England players around him at full time. There's no bond there really, but they have played for him in these past 2 camps. But with the Club World Cup having been a few months ago, once the World Cup comes around, the players such as Kane won't have a proper break. The problem is this. I always get a bit like, is there too much football? Isn't there too much football? When you look at like tennis players who'll play like 3 hours and it's only them running, and then they come back on the court the next. I don't know. It's just a bit like, I get it, I don't get it. I think the heat, the exhaust. What we don't want is a Euros like we had last time, where everyone, apart from Spain, just looked absolutely buggered. Honestly. The pressing under Tuchel, Garrett is on another level compared to Southgate. Tuchel is getting his ideas across in the space of a few months. I think definitely, we're certainly not playing with 2 holding midfielders anymore. It's definitely 1 when we've got the ball, and he likes a back three when we've got the ball as well. Definitely comes out wide. You can see he's wanting the team to be much more fluid in its approach. He doesn't want to. He doesn't want us to have the ball for the sake of having the ball. I can definitely see that. Tom, England are back, folks, playing cohesively. We stick a great chance at the World Cup if Kane remains fit. I'm just happy we're performing again. Albeit there will be tough tests to come, exciting times. I mean, is Kane... I think this is an interesting question, right? As much as everyone loves Bellingham, and he's a great player, and Saka's a great player, and Foden's a great player, and Palmer, and Rice, and Gahey, and all this lot, do we have less of a chance of winning the World Cup if all of those don't go? Or is it a case of we just bring almost like for like in, or another good player? Is Kane the only player, really, that if we lose, really impacts on our opportunity to win this tournament? Is probably a question I'm asking. Is Kane the truly indispensable player? Who do you hope we are drawn in the group stage? I'll be honest with you, Big Arnie, I've barely taken any notice of it at the minute. So my answer is I don't know at the minute. I think, I'm not, but I'm not bothered. And I think even when everyone else is qualified, I'm really not bothered. I'll be most interested to see who the European team is that we draw. But I'm not. I'm not particularly bothered who we draw, really. Like Tiny Temper has said, written in the stars, that Germany is going to bring football home and end the England-Germany rivalry. We have no chance without Kane, but the others are replaceable. I sort of feel that, even though we're not replacing a Bellingham with a Bellingham, I feel like Bellingham's far more replaceable than Harry Kane. I genuinely believe Kane is proper. He's not. We can't replace him, can we? I wouldn't have Bowen. I would have Bowen as backup for Kane. I think he can do it. I'm not sure about Gordon. As much as I love Gordon, I'm not sure about him. I worked out earlier that England could draw Senegal, Uruguay, and Italy as their group opponents. That'd be a tough, but Jesus, don't want that, do we? I mean, that would be extremely unlucky, wouldn't it? Sure, is that right? Could we draw them? That'd be outrageous. If Kane is out, we have had it, says Nozza. I don't think so. I think Watkins comes in and would do a good job. Obviously, Kane is world class, but I think we'd still work well with Watkins. The problem is he goes missing, doesn't he? And he doesn't offer the same as Kane. I mean, there's Delap. Hopefully, he'll be back in, put in a good shift before the summer. Could he force his way in? Potentially, Ivan Toney. He's a bit more of a handful, I think, than what I don't know. I do think. I mean, I don't know, Matt. I think we're struggling without Kane. The thing is, Kane has no real replacement, and not only is our best player, he doesn't have an equivalent like our other top players do. Senegal and Iceland in a group, so we can beat them back. We had Uruguay and Italy in 2014. We did. I mean, look, we still want. We don't want the group of death. There's always a group of death, but I don't think any group will be hugely difficult. I probably match channel. Yeah, they'll probably wait. I mean, it obviously. I think it will. It makes sense, won't it? Because why would you have? Yeah, you wouldn't want me doing a friendly against Uruguay and Japan in March, would you? If you draw them in the World Cup. No, but I think, JT, the thing is with Delap is it's not his goals really what I'm getting at. It's the fact that he's a bit of a unit. Can he bring other players into play? I think Watkins isn't really, like when you're playing one up, he just gets isolated easily. I think he's easily marked out. I think what I'm thinking is we need a target man really without Kane. I wish Ivan Toney wasn't in Saudi so that Tuchel can call him up because he's a player that's promising. I mean, he called him up, not in the last squad, but the squad before, and then didn't play him. And then didn't call him back again. So I go back to again when, they call these players up and in the squads and they have these training sessions. Clearly, he saw something with Tony. He thought, you know what, not for me. It's just a different profile of striker. Watkins would probably stretch the better teams more. Yeah, I can't deny that. Yeah. I think he's just. The problem is Kane is that good, isn't he? He is proper world class. People bandy world class terms around like it's like. Everyone's like Bellingham's world-class, Kane's... In reality, is Kane the only truly world-class player we've got? in reality, is there only like 4 or 5 world-class players in the world? I don't know, just a thought, but he's above everybody else, isn't he? He's that good. If we win the World Cup, can we exclude Starmer and the Labour Party as they are not proud to be English? I don't know, mate. I'm not bothered about politics. If we win the World Cup, mate, I couldn't care who's running the country. I'd love Italy in our group. It wouldn't do us any harm to have an actual threat in our group to keep us sharp. I mean, I think we beat Italy. We're a better team than Italy. Delap was a useful asset in the second half versus PSG in the World Cup. Come on for João Pedro and was battering. Yeah, that's what I mean. I think Delap is someone that I'm hoping can be. Look, we're struggling, aren't we? We're struggling up front. That is the one area of the pitch where, and we will always struggle because we ain't going to get a Kane. There isn't a Kane 2 knocking around, but I think the depth in that area of the pitch isn't there. I mean, he's not going to play Rashford through the middle. I'm trying to think who he did play through the middle the other night. Who did he play? It's really bothering me now, that is. Did he play Rodgers up there or someone like that? He didn't play Rashford through the middle. But we need a Delap. We need a Delap to push for a place on the plane because I think he offers something that not a lot of players in that position do. I do agree with Kane is only a world-class player, but like the general thoughts are, don't always need superstars. No, you don't. You don't. The problem is, though, is Kane is like a superstar, but he's not like one of those individual superstars. He's like, everyone else plays better. He's one of those superstars where he makes everybody else play better rather than like an Mbappe, for example, or Ronaldo, maybe, where it's all about them. Do you know what I mean? I think there's 2 types of probably world class there. I think Kane makes the team better, whereas those sorts of other players can produce that bit of magic on their own. So maybe that's where Kane is different and more probably effective for us. I lost the Delap debate to everyone. Most countries don't have a Kane, Gary. Spain, Italy, Germany, Brazil, Holland would kill to have it. Exactly, mate. Exactly. Matt, agree 100% with that. I'd be happy with a difficult group draw. I'm sure Tuchel gets us to knockouts and it'd be the platform we may need to gain momentum. I'm sure, because of the way the groups work now, I think it is the top 3 that almost go through, or you're going to be like one of the highest ranked third places. I swear it's almost one win and you're basically through. A win and a draw, and I think you are. You'd have to be very unlucky not to. I'd rather go out in the semis than lose another final. I understand. Yeah, it's one of those, isn't it, where I know what you mean. To lose the third final would be fucking awful, wouldn't it? It would be really, really bad. I mean, I say another final. It would be our only other World Cup final in 60 years, so maybe it's slightly different, but losing a final isn't nice. The best test Tuchel can get from this group is Albania away, says Felinio. I don't know if you knew, mate. Welcome to the chat. Albania, I mean, yeah, from this group, absolutely, mate. And that's proving it now, where I was calling Serbia the next best team in this group, but it looks like Albania away is going to be the toughest game. But shame it's the last game of the group. And there'll be nothing on the line. I mean, there may be for Albania. If England win the World Cup, and doubt there would be a bank holiday because it would be on the last week of school. And when do women's win the Euro? There was no bank holiday because during the summer holidays. Well, there may be bank holidays, mate. There'll be a lot of sick days, put it that way. Kane, Rice, Bellingham, Saka are truly world class, but we have some potential world class. Very few countries have more than 1 or 2. I'm going to chill out. Gary, have a good evening, mate. Speak to you soon. Yeah, no worries, Charlie. Thank you for joining. Very much appreciated it. I mean, the one thing I haven't touched on, and I said I was going to touch on at the start, is the Nations League draw. I have got, actually, did I save it? That's the key, because I've just wiped my phone. One of the things you do as someone who makes YouTube videos is you end up screenshotting so many things that you think, right, I'll put that in a video. You see things and you think, I'll screenshot it, put it in a video. What you end up with is literally an album with, I think I had like 2,500 pictures that were almost just screenshots. So I had a wipe the other day. But I am going to be doing a video on the Nations League because there was a draw or a potential. Yeah, so from pot 1, we're either going to get Portugal, Spain, France or Germany. From the other part, we're then now going to get Italy, Netherlands, Denmark and Croatia, and then it'll be Wales, Czech Republic, Greece or Turkey in the fourth part. I mean, that's going to be tasty, isn't it? Guaranteed a match against Portugal, Spain, France or Germany. That is, bring it on. Oh, so good. So good. and then Italy, Netherlands, Denmark, or Croatia. I can't wait. So glad we're back in League A. I cannot stress enough how glad I am to be back in League A. Albania could be fighting for second place when they play us, yeah, and I think that's probably what will make it an half decent game. Well, it depends what Tuchel picks, doesn't it? I don't have any English visit. I don't have any English visit caps, but I'll be in the States next year. Still possible to get England tickets. Happy to pay an arm and a leg. I think the problem is, mate, the American World Cup. If you want a ticket, mate, if you've got the money, you'll get one. But it's just going to be all about money, mate. There'll be fans first tickets, obviously, of course. But if you look, depending on what you're willing to pay, you'll get a ticket. Albania could be fine. Sorry, I've read that one. What about the list that Tuchel said these last two games he will try new players? Palmer 100% is missing, and Jude, I don't know if he will be on the list too, because I mean Madrid will not let him for such games. I don't know. Remains to be seen. If we win the Nations League, do you think it's coming home? It's a coming home trophy. We won't. The Nations League, though, we won't. The Nations League won't take place before the World Cup, so this is after the World Cup, mate. Like even if the fight, it'll be 2027, the tournament for the Nations League. I'm sure that's right, isn't it? Tuchel, like the finals of the Nations League, I mean. Tuchel won't complain about the atmosphere for those Nations League games. No, he won't, mate. He won't. I was thinking, because I've seen a few games at Wembley now, and I'm trying to think, right, what games were good, like atmosphere-wise? And I remember the England-Germany game, which was absolutely bouncing when we came from behind, and the England-Italy game when Rashford put that third in and Kane scored that individual goal. Oh, that was a good atmosphere that night. Really, really good. Really, really good. When is the Nations League finals, Garrett? So the Nations League will be in 2020. So we'll play some of the games in 2026, the actual Nations League, but the finals then are always the opposite year, aren't they? Yeah, June 2020. Yeah, 2027. I didn't know it was in June, but yeah, 2027. Albania play Andorra before England, so they might have confirmed second beforehand. I'd like Tuchel to stay on and win as the Euros. Well, it depends how he does in the World Cup, doesn't it? But it's just like, I mean, I go back to what we had in the Nations League with Lee Carsley and stuff. And look, don't get me wrong, there was some challenging games in there in the end. But we'd know much more. I mean, the other thing is, if we were in League A, instead of dropping down to League B like we did, if we were in League A, would Thomas Tuchel have taken the England job sooner? Because we'd have been playing better opposition. Would he have taken the job sooner? Just a point to raise. Obviously, if we're in League A, we'd have a far better judge now in terms of where we're at as a nation against top nations. But it's so long now, isn't it? I mean, it's just the Euros, the final, and then that's it. We're not playing anyone who we would class as a true competitor to us, that you wouldn't expect England to beat, by the way. We're not playing them. Whereas all those nations have played each other in the Nations League final over the past 12 months. So, yeah, League A, Nations League is so bloody important. JT, I think he's the best manager we've had for years. I think the jury's out on Tuchel. I mean, he's probably the best. I was going to say best club manager, but that's not right, neither is it? Because Capello obviously had an absolute astounding career. I think let's see. He's certainly a winner. We haven't had, other than Capello, and maybe you might chuck Sven in there, we haven't had many hugely successful managers at club level, have we? But yeah, he's not. Best manager we've had in years is Southgate. Pass you by. I mean, I think it's too early to say whether he's at the same level. I mean, at the end of the day, right? If we go out in the round of 16 or quarterfinals to a France or Spain or whatever, and we get beat or whatever, Southgate's done a better job. He needs to be at least getting beyond the quarterfinals, doesn't he, to be compared to Southgate? Because whether we like it or not, and whether the style of football Southgate played or not, he got results at the tournaments, didn't he? He got us to finals, he got us to semi-finals, so he needs to be getting past the quarterfinal at least to be in the same conversation as Southgate from an England perspective. Southgate took us from being an absolute joke to getting us to finals. Come on, give him something. Yeah, absolutely. He's got to do something yet. He's absolutely got to do something yet. And ultimately, and we can't forget, can we, how shit we were for 50 odd years before Southgate came along. He has absolutely transformed the national team. We are where we are now. We are in a position where we're talking about reforming the bloody qualification group because we beat everybody, we don't concede, we're guaranteed to, qualify for this. We've got world class players. We have a, we are in this position now because of Southgate. He took us to that truly next level. Yeah, I think in those moments, possibly Southgate did cost us. I mean, it's hard to argue against in some of them, but then it's easy to argue on the counter that we're only in those finals because of Southgate's tactics. So it's a difficult one. When he wins as the final, then I'll agree with you. Yeah, fair play, Russell. Imagine England knocking out Spain, France, Argentina in round of 16, not even in the final. We'd be buzzing. It would be, only if we then went on and win the bloody thing. To be honest with you, right, if we beat a Spain, France or Argentina in any of the knockout rounds for the final, we've won the tour. I think those games are that important. I think then we go on and win it. I think England truly are beating that one team we're not expected to beat in a tournament away from winning it. And you've got to remember, under Southgate, we beat Germany in knockout games. We beat the Netherlands in the knockout games. We beat Italy in Nations League games. We've beaten big teams in competitive matches. But I think those Spain, France, maybe Brazil / Argentina are those different level sort of teams, that final peak. And I think we're just one win from beating one of those. And that's it. Who on earth is betting against England? If we knock a Spain out, a France out, an Argentina out, if we knock one of those three out, in a quarterfinals or around a 16, who's beating us? Honestly, who's beating us? You would pretty much then put England as either joint favourites or favourites against anybody. Agree, Gary. Took us years to win a penalty shootout. Now we win the regular same. Yeah, exactly. It's just that. It just feels like that last piece of the jigsaw puzzle, doesn't it, Andrew? Because we're pulling monkeys off our back every tournament. That one, whether it's penalties, whether it's a winning knockout games, whether it's scoring goals, whether it's topping groups, whether it's winning our opening games, all these things that we never used to do in tournaments, we're now doing it. And it just feels like the last piece of the jigsaw puzzle is beating a team we're not expected to beat in a tournament. Or a team that, and there's not many of them, but a team there, could easily knock us out. It's those very tight games that we've never just been able to, let's be probably honest, have the rub of the green really a little bit. Look at the France game and you think, yeah, we missed a penalty, but we were the better team. It's just, it just feels like we just need that bit of luck. Who would you prefer to face, Spain, France or Argentina? I mean, from a competitive perspective, I don't know. I think they're really, really... The problem is, I think Argentina are weaker than Spain and France. I still think they're amazing, but I think they're weaker than Spain and France personally. But England, Argentina, I've said this time and time again, I don't think I can cope with Argentina knocking us out of a tournament. I know, Robert, that's what I mean. It's just like the luck. How much luck do we... Our luck always runs out in those fine margins, and for every fucker else it seems to carry on. We just need that one moment, and it is the finest of margins in those big games. The ref did not help us, and I know it sounds like I'm going on, but the ref was useless in that France game as well. And you just feel like, just for once, something go our way. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know if I would prefer any of them, if I'm honest with you. I really don't. Probably Spain is the least one I would fancy. And I think with Spain, I'm not fearful of them. The problem is they're just so good with it, but you can't get the ball off them. You just cannot get the ball off them. That's the one knockout of Southgate. We won the games we were expected to win. His best wins were Germany and Holland. I'll be honest with you, the best tournament England had, I would argue, was the one where we finished lowest in it, and that was the quarter-final defeat against France. That World Cup, I would say England played the best football I've ever seen us play in a tournament in my lifetime. We were brilliant. We were so good. I highly rate Argentina. I'm not writing them off, Jesus, but it's just like, out of those three, I don't know. I'd say Argentina have more. Yeah, I think definitely England Argentina for me is the biggest grudge match for me as an Englishman. I put that as the biggest. Right, I put it above Germany. I definitely put it above Scotland because of their quality. But I put England Argentina as our biggest match, our biggest football match, personally. Agree. Yeah, 2022 tournament. I think it's dead weird. Like it was Southgate's worst performing tournament going out in the quarters, but I think we're that's the best I think we've played in a tournament in my lifetime. Even in the game we got knocked out on. Try having French relatives every time I see them. They are like, has Harry's penalty landed yet? Oh God, I won't talk to him, mate. Oh God, what an opening gate! I mean, look, it's just there's so many things that we forget where we started from. Like I never remember England winning an opening game of a tournament before, and I think we won every single one, didn't we, under Gareth Southgate? I never remembered topping a group. I never remembered us winning a knockout game. Really, we did, but not many. I never remembered winning us winning a penalty shootout. It was just like there was just so many things that have just changed because of Gareth Southgate, and they're just the fight. I never remember us. Look, back in the day, I know everyone was going that Netherlands, Germany, they're not the teams they used to be. They were still bloody good teams, and I tell you what, not longer they're the teams that would have knocked us out of tournaments. Look at Portugal; they did it twice to us. They were sort of at the similar level at that time to what Germany and Netherlands were at that time, and they were the games we weren't winning. We just weren't winning them. I just how many times people just dismiss the fact that we beat Germany and the Netherlands in a knockout game. We were better than them in both games as well. We fully deserved the victory in both of them. I would play France. I wouldn't want to lose to Argentina, and Spain are so good. Argentina is just the thought of losing. I know it sounds daft, but because at the same time you think, how good is it going to be if we win? And that is sport, isn't it? You play for those big games, big moments that you really don't want to lose. But I genuinely, I'm okay with it, obviously. But come on, how are we all going to be if we lose to Argentina in a semi-final or final? As much as I think we can beat them, you just know as well there'll be some shit out of it. There'll be some absolutely horrendous decision by the ref or some cheating. I keep having to stop myself going on a rant about South American teams, but you just know it won't be a fair game. It'll end up absolute filth. And if anyone's going to come off worse, it'll be England in those moments because it never goes our way. And I just don't want to lose to them. Look, if you told me let's have them in quarterfinal, but the thought of beating him in a knockout game, I'd absolutely love it. The thing with Spain and Argentina, both used to be playing in hot, humid conditions, things that they may come up against. Yeah, they are more used to it, but surely fitness has to come into it. All the players are fit. A lot of those players may actually play in the UK, Russell, so I know they've grown up with it, but surely England just need to get out there early, don't they? Like, get out there as soon as they possibly can to get used to the climate. Because you do adapt. You know what I mean? You do adapt. You do get used to it. I think that's going to be key. England just got to get out there early. I'm hoping we can find a way to adapt to the heat out there. There will be a real challenge, albeit hopefully not insurmountable. Obviously, the key thing is once the draw's made, we'll understand the kickoff times. Surely the knockout games are going to be played at times when it's going to be, surely the temperature's going down a bit. Yeah, into Miami, that's what I was saying earlier, because David Beckham's out for that. It says in negotiations, but what's negotiations? It's like it's free or it isn't, mate. You know what I mean? Is your training ground free and can they use it? How difficult? Bloody hell, football, the Mecca is something that it's not. It's a football pitch. Is it free? England have to rotate the squad a fair bit. Before last 16, I think we are forced to due to weather. I saw that. Looks great if we can. Argentina might want it. Yeah, well, they might want it, but come on, Beckham. You know what I mean? The one thing Beckham loved is his country, wasn't it? I love David Beckham in that aspect. He was the only player growing up who actually looked like he gave a damn about playing for his country. I know that probably wasn't true, but I love that about him. So surely we've got the right man on our side there, if we want to train in Miami, that is. I think mentality matters too. I think that's one of the reasons why England have not succeeded. I do think that, but I think luck's had more of an... I believe luck had played a massive part in England not winning those tight games. And some awful refereeing decisions as well. Not blaming all the refs, but I think even the most diehard England hater would struggle to admit that England, England have definitely had their lion's share of the poor decisions and poor, bit of luck along the way, surely, and no one would deny us that. I mean, look, it's just there's so much to look forward to. I mean, 2026, it's legit, isn't it? What a year! What a year! I mean, we're starting off with potentially 2 really good friendlies. Let's say it's Japan and Uruguay for now. You've then got the World Cup, the build-up toward the World Cup, and then after that, you've got that Nations League, League A. 2026 is going to be so good. So good. What a night and day year. Any World Cup year is great. The problem is it's either complete joy or within 8 months, 9 months, we've got another absolute pure heartbreak moment again, but... Andrew Joyce, Rooney sending off, Beckham red, Rooney going off injured in 2004, disallowed goals, we've been screwed over. Exactly, mate. And it's not just us moaning about it. I mean, if you list them down, we've more than had our fair share. I would argue more than most, definitely. I just called England Wingland. That Campbell's got everyone. No one talks about that one, Tom. Nobody talks about that. I was talking about that with someone in the pub the other week, and they were like, they couldn't even remember it. I'm like, honestly, mate, it's got a rate header, and he got disallowed for no reason. Nobody talks about it. Dead weird. That one's. I mean, I might be wrong there. Might just be my circle, but I swear, so many people forget about Campbell's header that was disallowed. Yeah, that's what I mean. I mean, look at all this. There's loads. Sending off, disallowed goals. We've more than had our fair share. We just need a bit of luck. How on earth did the ref think Saka wasn't fouled during the quarter? Honestly, mate, it was a shocker. I mean, he didn't even want to give the penalty. That was an absolute stonewall penalty for Kane. If it wasn't for VAR, we wouldn't have even got that. Yeah, the referee was fucking awful in that France game. But the thing is with that France one is, yes, it should have been a free kick. They should never have been at our end of the pitch. But at the same time, there was a lot that France needed to do to get in that position beforehand. And it always annoys me when we let a player get a shot away that far out. No player should score from that far out. I don't care how good they are. Lampard's goal wouldn't have mattered. We were shy. We were bad, to be fair. We were bad. It'd just probably prolong the pain, wouldn't it, Kurt? It absolutely would have done. He didn't want to give the one for the obvious push on Mount. No, would have equalised. We sort of gave up when it wasn't allowed. Yeah. Just going to give, I mean, looking at my views, 22 of you on now. I'm just going to give a quick shout out to my channel members, only because, again, it's just doubled this week. I've now got 8 members, so that's Kurt Barlow. Thank you, mate. What a legend. Tom Biscoe, Brian Turner, Gate 102 Podcast, Robert Beveridge, Felix, Charlie Kelly, and Josh Philp. Absolute legends. Everybody else is a legend as well, by the way, if you're not a channel member. But honestly, lads, thank you so much for signing up. It truly means a lot. And it does... it gives me that bit of incentive to keep making videos. There's been a lot that I've put out because I've really got up for it this past week since we've qualified, and I hope you've enjoyed the content. And there'll be lots more coming now. There'll be a couple of videos on England's leaked kit. If you go on social media now, you'll see it, but I'll do some of my reactions to England's kit. I'll probably do that in a short, actually. But then I'll do a video on the Nations League. I'll do a video on who I think the actual favourites are for the World Cup from an England fan's perspective. And then we'll be having a look at the World Cup draw, the previews for those Serbia and Albania games. Loads of stuff coming up. Honestly, I'm absolutely buzzing for this. I still need... Oh, cheers, Robert. I still need to think about how I'm going to do, because... I know a lot of you did it last year. I still want to look at doing the Christmas quiz. I'll do something around Christmas. I need to do it. I've also had an idea that I want to do each week on the Sunday Club. A little game that I want to do, and I'm not going to tell you what it is, but I keep forgetting to do it. And it's not hard. I just keep forgetting to do it and then upload it. So watch out for the next couple of weeks. I've just got a weekly game idea that I think we can do as part of the show each Sunday, which I think is just breaks it up really a little bit. Thank you all so much for watching. Whatever you're doing in the week, whether you're at school, work, hope you have a great time, whatever you're doing. Thank you all so much for watching, everybody. Thank you all for the support. It's just mad. Absolutely love it. And again, I'll be live streaming. Just a reminder to everyone, I will be live streaming the draw because I realised it is after work on the Friday, so I'll be live streaming that. And then look, once the draw's made, I'm I'm gonna reach out then to those fans, whoever we've got in our group, and then I'm gonna go and hunt them down and say, right, let's get everyone on a channel and let's talk about this as a World Cup group. Yeah, Kurt, honestly, mate, thank you so much. Cheers, Russell. Right, thank you all so much, everybody. Hope you all have a great week, whatever you're doing, and I will see you all on